Good afternoon. My name is Deborah McIsaac, Sales Strategist for SkyTerra Technologies, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us for our webinar, Maximizing Efficiency with Managed Services. And today you'll be learning from one of our very own, Dan Shabelka, Client Services Manager with SkyTerra Technologies. Dan has extensive experience in service delivery and IT management, and I think you'll find that Dan will provide valuable insights into optimizing your IT operations. And as an active member of the Granite State M365 Users Group, Dan is a thought leader in all things Microsoft in the Nashua area. So before we get started, let me cover some housekeeping items. Because this is a Microsoft webinar, all lines will be muted. However, you are welcome to use the Q&A function to ask any questions that you may have. We are recording, so the recording and all resources will be made available in the near future. So thank you again for joining SkyTerra Technologies. Dan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Deborah. Hello, and welcome to SkyTerra Technologies' presentation of Maximizing Efficiency with Managed Services. I'm Dan Shabelka, a Client Services Manager with SkyTerra Technologies, and today I'll be telling you about our managed services offerings and how we may be able to assist your organization with your IT needs. Here's our agenda for the day. We'll talk about how to choose the correct managed services offering for your company, the benefits of using a company like SkyTerra to assist you, and why SkyTerra may be the best fit for your unique situation. Let's get started. So who is SkyTerra? What do we do? SkyTerra is a technology partner who's obsessed with leveraging technology to take your business to the next level. We're the largest Microsoft cloud provider in the Northeast and a Tier 1 Microsoft partner in the United States, Canada, Europe, and the Government Community Cloud, also known as GCC. But most importantly is our mission, which is to build long-term relationships with our clients by collaborating on, building, and executing a vision, which empowers our partners to concentrate on what they do best. We're guided by our people-centric values and by putting clients first. So how do we do it? We leverage a large bench of resources across our managed services, engineering, and project management teams to deliver on your specific needs as a client. We right-size the engagements so that you get what you pay for and have access to other resources as needed. And finally, we listen. Who am I? Who's Dan Shabelka? Well, I'm a Client Services Manager with SkyTerra Technologies. I currently lead a team of 8 resources and manage multiple managed services accounts. I'm also a directing member of the Granite State Microsoft 365 Users Group and often host our monthly meetings at our offices in Nashua. I'm going to give a shameless plug here and ask Deb to put out a link if you'd like to join the Granite State Microsoft 365 Users Group. We have in-person and online meetings, and they're typically the first Thursday of every month. I've been in the technology field for the past 14 years, specializing in the Microsoft stack and working with clients, solutions architects, and resources to design and deliver custom solutions. So what is managed services? I think most people assume that managed services are the basic offerings, right? Everyone's familiar with the help desk, ticketing systems, that kind of thing. We also help with hardware and software deployments for your company, onboarding and offboarding of employees as they come and go, as well as training your employees. We monitor and patch your devices and endpoints with 24/7/365 monitoring and patching of devices and applications on predetermined patching schedules that work for your organization. There's also monitoring of trends and issues within an organization. I meet with my clients monthly, quarterly, and yearly to talk about trends within their organization, what we see in the IT environments as a whole, and how we might improve or streamline things for the following years. We also offer enhanced offerings. We have platforms such as SharePoint, data governance, and security, and multiple resources to work there. So how do clients use managed services? Today, I'll give you an example of a couple of clients that we have, both a small, a medium, and a large client, and how they leverage SkyTerra to meet their IT needs. So our small company typically outsources their entire IT team. We have a New England-based company with about 12 employees in the biopharma data space that uses SkyTerra for all their IT needs. They previously had a director of IT leave the company last spring, and SkyTerra took over all IT-related tasks and projects since his departure. I meet with the CFO regularly to discuss their environments, devices, and collaborations with external partners. We assist them with quarterly audits and provide them with as-needed on-site support for things like their recent office move, a new printer installation, and device updates. The challenge that this client faced was that when their previous IT director left, we learned that he had created some Azure instances and software subscriptions that we weren't aware of prior to his departure. The solution was to work with the new contacts at the organization to make sure that we gained access to those systems for monitoring and maintenance. We folded these environments into the rest of their Azure environment and platform to ensure congruity across the platform. The benefit to the client is that they had access to a complete team of resources with varying skill sets and areas of expertise. They have a complete IT team without the overhead of hiring full-time employees, and then 24/7, 365 monitoring of their environment. An example of how a medium-sized company might use a managed services environment would be to augment the internal IT team. We have a New England-based company with approximately 50 employees in the urban housing development business. They utilize our managed services offering, along with having a SkyTerra resource on-site 2 days per week to handle in-person requests and issues concerning on-site devices, such as networking needs, conference room AV equipment, and user onboarding. At this account, the SkyTerra team augments the CIO and Senior VP of Operations to deliver services to the fast-paced company. There are recent challenges that they're planning an office move to a newer facility and needed to make the transition as seamless as possible for the employees. Our solution was that we worked with the CIO and Senior VP of Operations to design multiple conference rooms of different sizes, as well as ensuring wireless coverage throughout the new space. This meant coordinating with the owners of the new building and several third-party vendors, internet service providers, cabling technicians, electricians. The benefit to the client was that then the CIO and VP of Operations were able to leverage SkyTerra to design, communicate, and install the new networking environment, IT devices, and internet connections, so that they could spend time on other aspects of the move where they didn't have a trusted partner to assist them. And finally, our example of a large company, they like to take the daily ticketing tasks away from the internal IT team, pass them on to SkyTerra, and then we provide reporting and assistance as needed. The example would be a nationwide residential housing company that utilizes multiple SkyTerra resources for both an on-site and remote presence for their 3,000 plus employees that are spread amongst 3 large corporate offices and hundreds of building sites. Multiple SkyTerra resources are on site Monday through Friday to assist with tickets, conduct onboarding and offboarding exercises, and work with the internal IT team on larger projects and initiatives. A recent challenge was that this client wanted to outsource the help desk portion of their IT team, but wanted a group of technicians that would be as intimate with the environment as full-time employees would be. Additionally, they wanted to be able to tap into a bench of experts and developers to augment their existing development teams for projects, but not commit to having full-time experts on the payroll. Our solution was that we implemented agreements to handle their help desk needs, both on-site and remote monitoring of security alerts and attempts to breach their environment, as well as SharePoint, data loss prevention, and Power BI resources on an as-needed basis. We provided them with data-driven reporting on issues and trends and consult with them on future growth and development. The benefit to the client is they can leverage an IT team across multiple geographies with multiple skill sets to augment their IT services to the organization. The SkyTerra team has grown along with their business over the past several years. Additionally, they've signed an agreement with SkyTerra to provide white glove services for the family-run businesses VIPs within the organization. So what are the benefits of managed services? Well, let's start with increased efficiency. You have access to a full bench of resources with years of experience dealing with IT tickets and issues. Our techs are aware of industry trends and daily issues and can often act upon them across multiple organizations prior to issues being reported by clients. In other words, if we see something that happens at one client, we can spread that knowledge across other clients, often before you even alert us to an issue. Next is cost savings. We can change resources based on your business needs. Are you developing a new intranet? We can help with our SharePoint development team. And since we've done so many of them, we can offer you insight on everything from how to build the structure of the site to the type of content that will keep your employees engaged. Are you worried about security issues from outside and inside the organization? Our SOC team and data loss prevention experts will help you lock your intellectual property down so that only your trusted employees can access what's needed to perform their jobs. Scalability. We grow when you grow, and contract when we're not needed as much. There's no more worrying about finding and hiring employees. Don't want to spend nights, weekends, and holidays on call? We'll cover it for you. And then there's access to expertise. We offer dozens of resources across our managed services, network engineering, SharePoint development, and data teams. You can leverage them on a consistent or as needed basis. And our resources come from the financial, pharmaceutical, healthcare, and manufacturing industry with years of experience. So what's the SkyTerra difference? Well, first, our contract is tailored to your specific needs. The type of contract. Is this an ad hoc or project-based work? What's the best fit for you? We're agnostic to manufacturers. We identify solutions specifically for your company based on your unique needs and goals. The length of the contract. Do you need 20 hours of help per month for the next 6 months? We can do that. Do you need a team of on-site resources available to your company every workday? We can do that. Do you need something somewhere in between? You guessed it, we can do that. We also have multiple resources assigned to your account. First is the account manager, often known as a sales rep. Account managers will work with you to design your contract and assist you with licensing and/or project needs. Next is someone like myself, a client services manager. Client service managers work with a team of resources to implement your managed services needs. You'll have a ticket manager. They review, prioritize, and assign tickets to technicians based on their unique skill set. Resources. This is where the rubber really meets the road. These employees work with you and your employees to make IT as seamless and secure as possible. And finally, an executive sponsor. So someone from the leadership team at SkyTerra keeps an eye on your account and the services that SkyTerra is currently providing and works with your leadership team on future endeavors. Thanks for taking the time to learn about SkyTerra's managed services offerings. Now I'll pass this back to Deb to talk about next steps.
Thank you so much, Dan. I so appreciate how you detail out what the SkyTerra difference is when it comes to managed services. So if you find yourself wanting to learn more about the SkyTerra difference, you can certainly contact me. All of my contact information is on the screen. And if you happen to mention the Maximizing Efficiency with Managed Services this webinar, you can receive a free security assessment during your managed services onboarding with SkyTerra. So thank you for your time today. And Dan, thank you for your expertise.
Thanks and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.